What is up, guys? This is Janis from Driven by Goal, helping you to achieve your goals. In this episode, I'm gonna be going through my top 5 books that I read in 2016. But before we go into that, I received an email at the beginning of the year from Audible. Audible is the application I use to listen to audiobooks, and they sent me the email at the beginning of the year of my performance in 2016. So I thought it would be just fun to go through it and see what they say. So obviously your 2016 in numbers. Total minutes listened. In 2016 I listened audiobooks for 29,061 minutes. Give me a second.
A few moments later.
Wow, I've been listening the audiobook for 485 hours almost. That's kind of cool. And what happens if I divide it by 24? Wow, I've been listening for 20 days. So guys, in 2016 I spent 20 days, that's almost 3 weeks, just purely listening the books. That is amazing. Well, I wish I would have reached probably 30,000, but maybe that's a goal for 2017. Anyway, 20 days, that is a lot. That is a lot. The next fact, your favorite day of listen, Thursday. I think that could be related to the fact that on Thursdays my girlfriend comes home earlier and I always take the car and go to the library, and at that sort of time, which is about 6 o'clock in the evening, the traffic is just horrible, so I'm having to spend quite a bit of a time in the traffic. But what I do, I always listen to my audiobooks when I'm in the traffic, so that could contribute to the fact that Thursdays are the days when I listen the most of the audiobooks, because obviously I spend the most of the time in traffic. Books added into your library, 54. Wow. So I've listened to all the books that I had on that time. That means I've listened to 54 books in 2016, which is more than I planned for. I think somewhere at the beginning of the year, I made like a resolution, and I said to myself, I really would love to go through 25 books. And when I received this, I was like, wow, because at the beginning I sort of counted them, and then I stopped counting them. I obviously wrote down which books I listened, and when I finished them. But then when I received this, I was like, wow, that's like twice as a goal what I set for myself. So I was really surprised for that. The next one, the month you listened the most, September. Not quite sure about this one. Might have been sick on that month, because I know when I was sick last year, I was just lying in a bed all day, and then what could I do? I could just listen to audiobooks. So that could describe it, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. And the last one, your favorite genre was of course health and personal development. Obviously I only listen personal development books. I also did a couple of nutrition and exercise books, but that is part of the personal development as well, for the healthy lifestyle. So yeah, the goal for 2017, I don't think I'm gonna do much more than that, because I mean 54 books is a lot. That means I'm having to read a book in a week, and I don't think I could do much more. So I would be fairly happy if I did 52 books in 2017, which would be book a week. So that's what I'm aiming at, and that's what my goal is. Alright, let's jump into the action, my top 5 books. Let me point out that the books are in no particular order. These are just my top 5 favorite books. So let's get into it. Number 1 is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. This book is probably touched me the most because it was one of the first personal development books I ever read, and it kind of changed my perspective. It totally transformed me, my thinking, because I could relate so much. I could relate so much with the principles, I could relate so much with examples the author was giving. So, for example, being proactive is one of the habits. Another one is thinking win-win. So if you go into the cooperation with somebody, you would just think how you can benefit and how other party can benefit as well. But I'm not going to describe all the 7 habits because I could do the separate video for that. But I don't think there's a need for that, because if you go on YouTube, you are probably watching this on YouTube as well. And if you just write in book reviews, there is a lot of like animated book reviews where you can just check it out and see in very short 5 to 10 minutes all the habits described and in a detail. So that's about 7 Habits of Highly Effective People from Stephen R. Covey. The second book is Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. This book was particularly strong and powerful because of its great examples and also with a very detailed explanation of the habit loop. And what author says is that each habit contains from 3 things, which is from cue, followed by routine, and then followed by reward. And when you understand the principle of how habits work in your subconscious mind, you can start to change them and remove the bad habits. And in order to remove the bad habits, you have to remove your cues, because these are the triggers, what are triggering your behavior or your actions. So this was the mainly reason why I really liked the Charles book about Power of Habits. The third book on my list is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book is generally about money management and everything to do with the money. And I really find some useful tips and techniques how to handle the money and how to accumulate it. And if you're somebody who feels that money comes and money goes and it never stays, then this book is definitely for you. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you earn. If your expenses are at the same level as your income, you just are where you are. It's like a law that every time you increase your income, you increase your expenses, and you just stay at the same level. So the gross is very minimal. You're growing very little, because everything you add, you just in the meantime you spend. So in order to progress, you have to be spending less than what you earn and then grow that difference. It is as simple as that. So if you're looking for some money management tips, this book is definitely good for you. The book number 4 on my list is Black Box Thinking by Matthew Said. I have to say, this book changed completely my perspective on how I see failure in my life. And it used really good examples from aerospace to medicine, how the failure is approached in different situations, and how the failure can actually help you to develop yourself. Because think about the failure like in terms of inventions. You know, no invention was ever made without failing before that 10,000 times. You know, it would be impossible to invent anything new if we would be afraid to fail. And that's the same in our lives. If I'm afraid of something, and if I don't do it because I'm afraid to fail, then I'm never gonna achieve that. I'm never gonna be able to step forward. So if you are to any extent afraid of failure, then I highly recommend this book, and I can guarantee that it will change your perspective, and you're gonna be embracing failure in the future. And book number 5 is Chimp Paradox by Dr. Steve Peters. I like this book in particular because of the way it was written. At the very beginning of the book, the author is relating your brain workings to 3 particular things. And it is computer, chimp, and a human. And obviously each of these characters has a specific behavior or workings, and author explains these in a book. For an instance, the computer is the mechanism in your brain that works with everything automatically. And for an instance, like you're driving or you're walking, you don't need to think about it. It just happens automatically. So that's a computer brain. Then the second thing is a chimp. And chimp just wants to be entertained all the time, go into the arguments. So these are all your emotions that you're losing control of. You're getting angry or you're getting upset or anything. And then the thing is, once the chimp deals with it, it later just leaves the situation, and then what happens is the human got to resolve it. So whatever situation occurred, the chimp is gonna stay on the side and just cause the trouble, and then just walk on the side, and then human is gonna have to be dealing with the situation. So if you want to understand the workings of your subconscious mind and want to read something that is very easy to pick up and read, then Chimp Paradox is a great choice. So this is one of my top 5 books over the last year. So these were my top 5 books. Please feel free to share your books in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. This was Janis from Driven by Goal, helping you to achieve your goals. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.